The Ramban writes that Shavuos is not really an independent Chag. It's not an independent Yom Tov. It all begins with Pesach, and then the counting of Sfira. All of the days of the Omer, according to the Ramban, are a lighter form of Chol HaMoed. It's as if we're still in the middle of Pesach, that culminates in the festival of Shavuos. We understand that that's exactly what happened in the days of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Back in Egypt, Moshe Rabbeinu was told to go to Paro and tell him, "Send Shalach Hasami v'Yavduni," that they serve me. When Moshe Rabbeinu first asks for a sign, for an os, he's told that we're going to serve Hashem on that mountain. It was at Har Sinai. It was in Midbar Sin and Har Sinai that Hashem appears to Moshe Rabbeinu from the Sneh. The idea is that the festival of freedom, as it's called, was not just getting rid of oppression. It was not just getting us out of slavery in Egypt, but it was really taking us, transferring us from Egypt to Har Sinai. It was taking us from the slavery and oppression that created distance between us and regular life, the rest of the world, and bringing us to Har Sinai, where we became something else. So what did we become? What is it that Har Sinai taught us? Of course, it was mitzvahs, 613 commandments. But it's more than that. It's 613 commandments that are taught. Kabbalah's HaTorah. We are taught to learn, to understand, and to live. Hashem said that we would be Am Segula, that we're Mamlechas Kohanim V'Goy Kodesh. The Torah later calls us Am Chocham V'Novan, an intelligent, understanding people. The idea is that at Har Sinai, we were taught that all of life is not just a matter of doing what feels good, doing what you feel like doing that day, doing what everyone else is doing. All of life revolves around wisdom. All of life revolves around using your brains and tuning in to your neshama, your soul, and its divine wisdom. Ma'amad Har Sinai, the revelation, actually allowed us to share in Hashem's wisdom. It allowed us to understand what it was all about, get all the secrets of life. It was at that point that we became the Am Chocham V'Novel, the understanding nation. We went from being regular people like everybody else, who lived by their instincts and their feelings, and we became a people that lives by its seichel, by its wisdom. That was Yetzias Mitzrayim. We were liberated from thinking and acting the way the rest of humanity does. And then on Shavuos, we became the people of wisdom. Religions all have their rules. Religions have their rituals. In Judaism, it's not just a matter of ritual. It's not just a matter of, I guess, going to the shul on Shabbos, serving, and then going back to your secular life. In Judaism, everything revolves around study, understanding, knowing more, growing, becoming more in control of the way you think and act and feel, and understanding what absolute truth is all about. Understanding Hashem's emes. What we celebrate on Shavuos, therefore, more than anything else, is study, our being the people of the book. But it's not just study as academics. It's study that transforms. It's study that makes us wise. We are Am Chocham V'Novel, a wise, understanding people. We learn that personalities are they're not there forever. They're subject to change. We learn that character flaws are not something you surrender to. We learn that life can be dealt with on a much more intelligent level. You don't have to get upset at the person next to you just because they're getting on your nerves. You don't have to hate just because you disagree. You don't have to be impatient just because you're a human being and you own a watch. We learn to use our seichel, our wisdom. We learn that we can be bigger than all of that. And we learn through every one of the 613 commandments about another aspect of life. And we learn the way godly wisdom wants us to deal with that. We are the people of wisdom. Shavuos is the day that made us that made us into a wise, mature nation. Shavuos is a day to recommit oneself to being wise, primarily making sure that everyone is involved in study of one form or another, to make sure that you're learning more of Hashem's plan for life, you're learning more of that divine wisdom, and that you're internalizing it, that you're allowing yourself to be transformed by every piece of information you absorb in your mind, that you become bigger, greater by way of your wisdom. So it's a day that we recommit ourselves to that process of study and grow, learn, know, and be different. It's a wonderful kind of Chag, it's a wonderful festival, which is very painful when we understand that to so many Jews, the whole concept just doesn't exist. Where study means perhaps becoming a professional, where study means collecting facts, but in terms of real growth, real transformation, understanding that there's something called absolute divine wisdom and truth, is so foreign to so many of our brethren. The greatest message we can bring to all of them is your number one responsibility as a Jew is to learn, to study, to learn truth, to grow, and of course share. At the Jerusalem Kollel, that's what we do. We learn, we grow, and we learn to share, and try to bring this message to our brethren and get more and more Jews into the process of absorbing information and allowing that to transform them, becoming bigger people, more like their Creator, closer to the Creator, caring about one another, learning to tune into their own souls, their neshamas, the peace of Hashem inside every one of us. We should all have a wonderful Shavuos, and we look forward to the day that all of Klal Yisrael will celebrate Shavuos as the day that made us, the day that turned us into the Am Chocham V'Novam.